13 Nigeria Info and Hearing Port Harcourt. I'm Dio. 9 minutes gone past 5 o'clock. Discussions continue. Story from the Punch newspaper. NCC disqualifies Nigerians below 18 from getting SIM. That's the story. The NCC has disqualified anyone below the age of 18 from registering and owning a subscriber identity module in Nigeria. Now, this is according to the draft copy of the Modified Registration of Telephone Subscribers Regulations published on the Commission's website. The Modified Regulations NCC limited telecoms subscribers to only include anyone above the age of 18. A subscriber means a person not below the age of 18 years who subscribes to communication services by purchasing a subscription medium or entering into a subscription contract with a licensee. And the licensee refers to a provider of communication services that utilizes a subscription medium in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The regulations were made in line with the powers conferred upon the Commission by Section 70 of the Nigerian Communications Act 2003. Now, in accordance with Section 57 of the Act, the NCC conducted a public inquiry on the registration of telephone subscribers regulations alongside the draft SIM replacement guidelines and the draft spectrum trading guidelines at its head office in Abuja on Tuesday. NCC's Executive Commissioner, Stakeholders Management, Adeleke Adewolu, gave the opening remark. During the inquiry, which was held physically and virtually, key stakeholders, MTN, including MTN, urged the Commission to revise the age limit. MTN asked the Commission to make the age limit 14 years and above. The NCC, however, insisted on 18 years and above for anyone who wants to own and register a SIM in Nigeria. So, ownership of a SIM card in Nigeria now is 18 plus. I think kind of like alcohol consumption, also viewing certain TV programming or certain movies when you're told that this programming or the following movie is not suitable for viewers under 18 years, or sometimes it's 15, sometimes it's 17, sometimes it's 13, sometimes you also told parental guidance is advised. What the NCC is saying right now is, if you're not up to 18, you can't own a SIM card in Nigeria. What do you make of this development? The lines are open. Call 0817 923 0002, 0817 923 0003, 0817 923 0007. I do imagine this might pose something of a conundrum or challenge for many persons, parents especially as well. I mean, you've got children who have finished secondary school and are not 18 yet. You can actually, I think, by Nigerian law, you can get into a university before you're 18 years old. So, I mean, are we saying that a child can be in secondary school and even finish secondary school and still not be entitled to be able to own a SIM card and even get into a university or some other tertiary education institution and still not be legally allowed to own a SIM card? That's interesting, really. And also, talking about education, I believe that one of the processes for registering for the UTME right now is that students have to own a SIM card. I believe it's part of the registration process. I don't know the entire process, really, but I think that owning a SIM card is part of, or maybe not owning, but a SIM card, having access to a SIM card and a line is critical to the entire UTME process. And I think one line can be used only once by one candidate. So how's that going to work, really? And I think there may be other complexities that I haven't figured out yet. But let's get your take. The lines are open once again. Call in. Also via WhatsApp on 0809 030 or facebook.com/Nigeria Info PH. I've got Albert on the line from Oyigbo. Albert, you're welcome. Go on.
Yeah, good evening, guys.
Go ahead.
Yeah, on this particular issue, I know Nigeria, we are quick in making laws that doesn't work. There are so many of our children that are not up to 18, but they are in university. And you cannot deny somebody that is in the university access to make calls or communicate with family. I think it's not right. I believe the right thing for them to do is maybe to reverse that law to 14.
What is the challenge you identify with it?
Come again.
What is the challenge you identify with this law?
The challenge I identify here is a lot of people will be excommunicated from their families. A lot of our children under 18 that are in high institutions will be excommunicated from their families.
All right, Albert. Emmanuel from Igrota, you're welcome. Go on.
Good afternoon.
Go ahead.
Oh, I think the age limit is a bit high. Maybe 15 or 16 would have been better.
MTN is saying 14 actually.
Sorry?
MTN recommended 14.
Yes, I think 15 would have been better, at least to play around it. But I want to ask, is it not possible that a parent I can buy and draw for my children to use my name? Would that be a crime?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't. Well, no doubt. Even right now, even if you have a child that does not have a phone, can the child use your phone to make a call? Yes, your child can. Can the child keep your phone? That's a different matter entirely.
Okay, that's not
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know
but
if
18, I think 18 is just like you said.
Emmanuel.
I have siblings that is outside the country that need a phone. They need to communicate.
Okay, Mano, and the thing is, so parents has, I don't know, you've got 3 children, 4 children maybe who are under 18. Does that mean the parents would have to register, besides registering their own lines? And a lot of parents these days, or a lot of people have 2 lines. Some even have more lines. Let's say the average Nigerian, I believe, has about 2 lines. Let's say 2 lines. So besides registering 2 lines for themselves, would they have to register an extra 3, an extra 4 lines in their own names to give to their children? Would that be okay? You know, because how about for security reasons? So if I register a SIM card in my name and I give it to my child to use, and say my child goes someplace, or my child travels to a different state, or goes somewhere else, and maybe something happens there, and that particular phone or that SIM card is implicated, and I say no, I wasn't there. I was in Rumosi, and something happened in Oyibo, or something happened in Elime, and then my SIM is retrieved, and I said no, I wasn't there. I was in Rumosi at the time. It was my child that was with the SIM. I don't know. We've got AB from Brimpi. AB, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Or is it Abby? Abby, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I would like to contribute to the conversation that's going on. Okay, let's say now I'm in the higher institution and I really need to communicate to my parents. I even need a SIM card to register for JAM, WAEC, and all those exams to get to the higher institution. So let's say I eventually get there. But I need to communicate to my parents about my whereabouts, how I'm doing, and everything I need, and things like that, even though I'm not up to the age of 18.
So, Abby, let's be practical now. Let's not speak in conjecture. Okay, let's talk about you. How old are you, if you don't mind my asking?
I'm 14.
You're 14 years old. Okay, great. Do you have a phone?
Huh?
Do you have a phone?
No.
Okay. Have you... Okay, you haven't... Obviously, I don't think you haven't registered or written the UTME yet, have you?
Yes.
When do you intend to do that?
I think to do that like next 2 years, because now I'm going to SS2. So by SS3, I'm going to like...
So you're going to be about 16 then, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you require a SIM card to register for your UTME, right?
Yes.
So can't you use, would it be bad to, can you use your parent's SIM card to register for your UTME?
I don't know.
Okay, so your biggest challenge...
Well, I would say it is my own, because about my personal data.
Okay. So you're concerned, what do you mean your personal data?
Yes.
What do you mean your personal data? It's your UTME registration. Your parents shouldn't know about your UTME registration.
They would know about it
So how is it personal then?
because they're on me.
Yeah, but still, they're paying for the exam, aren't they?
Okay, okay. Minus that, how am I going to communicate with my parents without the SIM card?
Okay, we still have call centers around. If you need to talk to mom or dad, you can go to a call center. You pay and you call them.
Seriously,
Yeah,
that's what Nigeria wants us to do.
yeah. Seriously,
Just continue.
what's wrong with that? Or
Anyway,
are you?
no problem.
Wait, Abby, are you sure your biggest concern is not that you won't be on Facebook? You may not be on Facebook anymore, and may not be able to check out Instagram as well. Are you sure that's not your biggest concern?
No, that's not really my biggest concern. My biggest concern is to be talking to people around me, especially my parents, because they're the ones that are going to sponsor me in school.
Hmm. All right, Abby. Any other concerns?
I also need to talk to my friends now.
Okay, all right. Wow, you're supposed to be facing your studies when you're in school, not talking to your friends.
Nothing.
What?
I said nothing.
No, I said you're supposed to be facing your studies in school, not talking to your friends, right?
I'll still be talking to them, but it doesn't mean I'm going to push away sociality or I'm just going to be on my own.
So, Abby, what's the worst thing that could happen if, after secondary school, before you turn 18, you can't register your own SIM? What's the worst thing that could happen?
Well, for now, I don't know. And minus that, I'll need to go online and search for some of my assignments. And what if I don't have a SIM card, or if they say we are not eligible to have a SIM card? How am I going to go about that?
You can use your parents' phone if you have to.
Okay, let's say I'm in school and I don't intend to school in Port Harcourt. I want to go to another state. How am
Uh,
I going to do that?
you can use Wi-Fi. You don't you don't
Seriously,
you
when
don't.
I can just have my own phone and data around me.
Yeah, you can have a mobile device, and your parents can subscribe for, internet for you, Wi-Fi internet. Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be possible
Why?
because the data it will be more better than the Wi-Fi because my parents are going to be in Port Harcourt. Else I'll be in another state.
Hmm. Well, Abby, thanks for your time. Thanks for calling in. Stanley from Artillery, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, Dayo, good evening.
Hello, go on.
I think that this guideline they are talking about, already exists now. Since they started SIM card registration, years of SIM card registration.
Really?
If you are not up to 18, they can't register. They won't register you, except you put more than 18 years.
Well, that wasn't the
Because I
word.
remember about 2 or 3 years ago when I bought SIM card for my daughter in the school. When I mentioned the age, they said they cannot register. So unless I will register. So most of them that are not up to 18, when the parents bought those SIM cards, they register it on their own data, not that particular person. Except you put more than 18. It exists already.
Okay, maybe it existed, but not as a law, I suppose, because right now we're talking about the NTC is talking about making it law now.
Yeah, unless the SIM card the child is using is not registered. But if it is registered, the child is not up to 18. I'm sure of that. You don't bear the data of that same child.
Hmm. All right, Stanley.
It's the parents.
Thanks for calling that in. Now, if you're a parent or a guardian, and you've ever registered a SIM card for your child or your ward who's not 18, I'd like to hear if it's ever happened, or like Stanley, you tried to register a SIM card for your child or your ward who was below 18, and you were told that you can't because the child is below 18 or your ward is below 18. I'd like to hear from you as well. But what do you make of this? What might be the biggest challenge to this latest NCC policy as far as persons who can register SIM cards in the country. Honestly, via Facebook, Cosmos Udeme goes, to me, this particular policy is absolutely incorrect. For instance, you have a child who is schooling in another state. How do you communicate with that child? I think this policy needs to be reviewed. There shouldn't be an age limit attached to communication. And Dimbele, result goes, a bag of beans. Oh, goodness. Alright. Precious Nelson goes, they were not disqualified from owning a SIM card, rather they were disqualified from buying and registering a SIM card by themselves. Note their parents can buy and register for their kids under 18. Thanks. Alright, Pedro Obi goes, I thought they said from 18 and above is adult, so why did they disallow them from owning a SIM card? If I may ask, is this really even Nigeria's problem? Okay, alright, back to the third lines. I've got Patricia for Rupoko. Patricia, you're welcome. Please go on.
Good evening, Daya.
Hi.
Yeah, I really don't see anything wrong with this issue anyway.
Okay.
The only challenge I would have is if adults are restricted to a particular number of, as in to own a particular number of SIM. So far, I've seen people who have 3 different MTN lines, 4 different MTN lines. So I think that is clear now. So a parent can actually register good number of SIM depending on how many children. Let me say you have 5 kids that are under 18. You can actually register the SIM with your name or whatever. Then hand it over to them. They use it to do whatever they want to do, go to school, do whatever. I personally don't see anything wrong with this anyway. The only challenge I think I would have is how how well trained is this child of yours that the child will not use the SIM and implicate you somewhere, or maybe someone else, like another adult now who knows who is trying to get to you, and that particular adult knows that the child is using your a SIM that is registered by your name. And maybe the child is not watching and the phone is tampered with one or the other, then you will get into trouble you didn't plan for. But I don't think the whole idea is for kids below 18 not to have a phone. Like, to me, I think that is off. It's not part of the whole idea. They can own a phone, but the thing inside is registered by you, the parents, and they can use it and do whatever they want to do in school. I don't know, sir.
Right,
I think that's
great to hear from you. Patricia raised some very important issues, but we'll come back to that in a moment after this commercial break.
Information is a two-way thing. Nigeria Info, it's your turn. Let's talk.
And now, Hard Facts. Hard Facts with Dayo.
Communication services by purchasing a subscription into a subscription contract with a licensee. Now, I mean, I'm no tech expert here, but if we just break this down, it says subscriber is a person not below the age of 18 years who subscribes to communication services by purchasing a subscription medium or entering into a subscription contract with a licensee. Even companies that just sell internet services, they also in the telecoms industry. And when you buy data, whether it's maybe Wi-Fi data and all of that must be subscription. You're entering into a subscription contract as well with them, because that suggests strongly that they can't even engage in such kinds of subscriptions or contracts as well, I think. Anyways, I'll get to the messages shortly. Well, let's take Moses from Abaya. Moses from Abaya, welcome. Please go on.
Hello, Dayo.
Go ahead.
Good evening.
Go ahead, please.
The issue of SIM card registration. Dayo, this thing will not work. My reason. My first son is 11. He already has SIM card. My second daughter is 9. She has her own SIM card. My last daughter is 6.
6.
She also has her own SIM card.
Did you register the SIM cards in their names?
Anyway, all those 3 lines
Moses
are registered with my name.
Okay.
And everything. So parents will have our way. We must manipulate the system.
No,
So
Moses, please listen.
Yes.
What the NTC is saying is that the children cannot register it in their name. Not that they can't use it.
Your line is not clear.
Can you hear me, Vice? I mean, for example, if you were to have in the days of the landline, if we still had landlines, and I think we still have phone boxes at home, even though they're no longer at landlines. I think some of the CDMAs offer that, and even you have phone boxes that also take SIM cards. You can have that at home. Obviously, your child can make phone calls today, or even receive phone calls, even if they didn't have their own personal GSM phone. So your child can use a line, or a person under 18 can use a line that's been registered by an adult, but simply cannot register a line in their own name. I suppose that's what this means. And it's not just SIM cards, if I'm to go by what's written here, because once again, according to the modified regulation of NCC, subscriber means a person not below the age of 18 who subscribes to communication services by purchasing a subscription medium or entering into a subscription contract with a licensee. A licensee refers to a provider of communication services that utilizes a subscription medium. So even subscribing for a data plan is a subscription as well, and the licensee in this case is providing a communication services, I suppose. So that means not just SIM cards, I think, if you ask me. I think it also means anything that has to do with communications. So your child or what below 18, for example, I don't think can walk into any of the internet service provider companies and subscribe for a data plan or an internet service plan, which may not require a SIM card, I believe. I don't think this one requires SIM cards. No, they don't actually. Anyways, your take still. Let's see what's happening via Facebook and WhatsApp. Via WhatsApp, what will happen to those below 18 years who have a registered SIM card already? Is service providers going to deregister them? And now the question is, Stanley, the caller earlier on, said he tried to register a SIM card for his daughter, I believe, who was below 18 at the time, and he wasn't allowed to register it. So is there anyone who's registered a SIM card for their child? At that time the child was below 18 and he or she was allowed to register that SIM card. I'd like to hear from you if you're that if you're in that category. Hi, what's up? For higher institutions in Nigeria, 16 age requirement for university admission has no legal backing. It has become the gold standard for some universities in Nigeria, which had in their post-unified tertiary matriculation examination advertorial stated that, quote, candidates who will not be 16 years of age by October 31, 2018 are not eligible and need not apply. All right, I think this will lead to introduction of guidelines for homes for the UTME. What is important is NRNC number. The candidate can use a phone number of a close relative. The question is what happened to those under the age that have SIM cards already. I think this law is coming late. That's from JJ. I believe the NCC is right. If the child is below 18 years and you want that child to own a SIM card, any parent can buy and give that child, thereby taking responsibility for that child. Only the SIM card requires responsibility. That's Joe from Port Harcourt. I agree with this policy. There must be alternative for the child to communicate with their parents. There can be landlines as alternative at home. The school authority can also provide public phones for students. As a policy, other authorities as JAMB or WAEC will make adjustments. All right, okay. Bomb from Unugo, you're welcome. Please go on.
Good evening.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, first, when the story of Moon came out, there was no restriction in terms of age limit. Because I have 4 kids, for example, and my last son was about 4 years, 5 years. 5 years at that time, and I did registration of me for all of them. I was even quarreling with them. Why can't she use my phone? So I had to even buy a SIM for her, which was registered in her name before the exam. So she's just 15 and let's say 15 and a half now. She's not even up to 16. So what are they telling us now? The same people they said will possess their personal SIM and mean for registration for exam. They are telling us now that if you are not up to 18, you cannot own a phone or a personal line. And by the way, what is the security? What is the value? What is the value that is going to add to the security challenges of the country?
It is a complex situation indeed, Bob. It is a complex situation.